Okay, welcome. So I thought I'd just do a little bit of an update to the film and also to the podcast, just to let you know what's happening with that. So in September, as some of you have seen from the videos, I went with my producer, the director, to film Nick Duffel, and we started to edit that down, find the bits, the gold in it, and the plan is that we're going to start making this promo. The promo will be 3 to 5 minutes long. The plan is the promo will probably come out in March, April time, and the idea is with that promo, we'll then approach funders. You know, it might be commissioning editors to see if we can get this actually made. So that's the idea. Is we have this idea, but we don't have the funds yet to produce this yet. So at the moment, we're investing our time and money into creating this promo, and then from there, we will then, in March, once we've done the promo, start to go out. So what we've done is we filmed Nick. We filmed him for a few hours. We found some great pieces there. You know, what is the impact of boarding school on a child? How does it impact an adult? Then do any of these symptoms show up in our leaders who have been to boarding school? And what might that be on the rest of the world? You know, might that be linked into the way that Nick says the vulnerability has to be suppressed at boarding school? Does that then mean, as he talks about dissociation, is that then projected onto society? So those vulnerable are not taken care of because it's not being taken care of in the leaders. So these are some of the ideas that we've spoken about. And then the fourth aspect is what's the solution? So there is a boarding school conference on the 12th of November. I will be attending this year, so I do recommend people come. It's a great event. There's Nick Duffel speaking, Thurston Bassett, there's Alex Renton, there's also Karen McMillan and Sarah Warner, who came on my podcast episode 40. They will be there. On the day before, on the Friday, we're going to go with the team to film Schaverien and just, go a little bit deeper. What else is there? What might be the impact of having leaders who've been to boarding school on the world? So, yeah, that's what's happening with the film. If you want to support it, you know, eventually when we look at fundraising or at just putting it out there, networks, you really feel this is an important message to be heard. I feel it's one of the most important messages in the world at the moment. But if it also draws you in, please do put your name into the my email list on my website, and I'll put the link below. And I'll keep updated every few months what's happening. The other thing is podcast. So this Friday, an episode is going live of Petter Sandgren, who's a professor of education at Stockholm, talking about the global effect of boarding schools. What's the difference between the boarding schools around the world and the UK? That was a fascinating conversation we had last week. And then next week, I've got Matthew Green, who is a journalist. He used to work for Reuters, an author as well, who's written about PTSD. And he's involved in the Collective Trauma Healing Network with Thomas Hubel. And the conversation I'll be looking at having is kind of looking at, could collective trauma have something to do with boarding school syndrome? Could it have something to do with our leaders? Gabor Mate has spoken about this. Joe Rogan's podcast saying that Donald Trump, he feels, is traumatized. And he also mentioned Hillary Clinton as well. So are our leaders carrying trauma? And if they are, can we start to do something about it? So that's the conversation next week. I'm also in discussions with other podcasts. I want to get someone, for the 50th episode, I want to get someone in who I haven't spoken with before, maybe someone like Pete Walker, from who's written Complex PTSD, but we will see. Right, timing wise, I need to go off to work, to clients. So yeah, just thought I'd do an update, and yeah, please do, if you want to support the film, put your details below, and I'll put a link to the boarding school conference in London. If you're there, I'm sure it'd be great event. I went a few years ago, and I went again last year, but it was online. So yeah, amazing. So have a great week, and I'll speak soon.